shit. Sorry about that.
The bars.
And welcome to episode 107 of the Paro Pod. Your no longer Christmas special episode, but your New Year's special episode.
Yeah, this has been retconned into a New Year's episode.
Whoopsie.
For various reasons. We let ourselves down. I let myself down. Owen, you let everyone down.
I mostly let everyone down because it's fucking COVID. I can't believe it. Twice in a row with bad bobs. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
We might have been.
Literally is.
We might have been 6 other places that night, but regardless, one of them was bad bobs, and I did end up with COVID.
It was bad bobs. It was nearly the same day as well. Nearly to the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 years. Got it. 2 years later, got it again.
Yep.
Son of a bitch.
That old COVID thing. You know they're onto their 4th booster.
Do you know that?
They don't tell us about that.
You know COVID's still going about, did you?
The what?
You know people are still getting COVID.
What's that? Yeah, a lot of people got COVID, but because no one was testing for ages, and then people remembered that it was still a thing.
Yeah.
And then people tested like, oh, I have COVID.
Yeah, I got COVID.
Everyone's got COVID.
I think it's just because you're coming up to Christmas and you don't want to be giving everyone COVID during Christmas.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of cheats, cheat codes.
Pain in the bollocks.
But people have just stopped testing as well, It's too expensive. You go into the shop, $350 for a test. It's like $350 for a test, and I get 200 quid. That's it.
Bro, you fucking... My mom got a bunch of tests for the gaff because I had COVID, and opened up a few of the packets, and there was missing pieces to the tests. So it's like, I can't even use this fucking thing now.
It's been fiddled with. Yeah, that's concerning. Yeah, I only test because I get free tests.
Fair.
But like, I would buy them but like I wouldn't buy them as much. I just had them in work, grab a load of them.
I tested
Just
mostly
leave
because I
them
didn't want to go into work.
Yeah.
I wanted to work from home.
Yeah. Wait, you work from home while you had COVID?
Yeah.
Why?
Because I was bored.
That's awful, man. What the fuck? You could die and you're there like, ugh, it could be your last day on Earth. And you're there logging on. You're there clocking in.
I was bored.
To a job you hate.
I was bored. I was like, no, because on Thursday I was like, fine, whatever. Friday I was like, that's a short day, doesn't fucking matter. And Saturday and Sunday were 2 of the most boring days of my entire life. So Monday came around, I was like, oh, let's work, boys. I'm happy to work.
You should have done like video calls and like got like fucking foundation, like really pale foundation, just like
drawing in my eyes,
like
Wednesday
like
Adam or some shit.
A bit of water on your forehead, just like start a video call. It's just like, Owen's about to pass out. He's dying.
I'm just there. Oh no, yeah. It was actually grand though. It was just I felt grand. It was just the isolation in the room.
Rough.
Not a vibe. Though the delivery service within the gaff, whopper.
Oh, I'd say so.
I want a cup of tea.
Yeah.
2 minutes later, a cup of tea at my door. Whopper. Whopper.
Can't get that. It's tough at the top.
I'm telling you, man. You have no idea.
Tough
you have no idea.
at the top.
On Friday, I just got drank two bottles of wine and a bit of rum. Got very drunk and played video games.
Yeah.
And then started to feel a bit of cabin fever, so I started doing push-ups on the ground. I was like, I think I'm losing my mind already. It's only day 2.
Started doing push-ups, absolutely locked on a Friday night.
Yeah, no. What else you be doing?
That's pretty standard. That is pretty standard. Yeah, that sounds pretty cozy, to be honest. Because I was out the same night.
Mm-hmm.
For the backstory.
It was a good night. 12
It was a good night.
We made 6.
We got
7.
6.
7.
And we
made
chose
7.
Yeah, we chose to stop at 7 because it gets messy after that.
I think it was mostly because I was like, oh yeah, shit, I forgot about last calls. I forgot that was a thing.
Yeah, it was all clubs after that. You don't want to be going into a club.
I'm not paying in anywhere.
You don't
for
be
12
paying
clubs.
in, yeah. But yeah, I thought I would have had it as well. I felt I was pretty sick, but I didn't get COVID. I was not in the COVID buzz. I kind of wanted to get it, which sounds awful, but I also didn't want to get it because I would be like, the service, talk about service in my house. There's no service whatsoever. You get potatoes with pubes in it, and it'd be like an hour late and be freezing cold.
Delicious Christmas dinner.
It's like, even when I had COVID the first time, I lost loads of weight. I lost like 2 kilos. Or like, I don't know, I lost a decent bit of weight in where I live now. Like, there'd be no service. I wouldn't even be able to get to the door to get takeaway.
Bobby Sands.
I'd be Bobby Sands. Yeah, it'd be
there'd be a dirty protest all over the
There would
food.
be a dirty protest because I would have lost my mind. Like, yeah. But yeah, I didn't get it in the end. Alas. Maybe next time.
How was Christmas?
It was alright. It was grand.
Yeah.
How was yours?
Standard
Stuff. Yeah.
No.
Did you get loads of old people presents? I got loads of socks and jocks and stuff like that. I got a scarf.
No.
like,
What did I get? I got bits and pieces. You know,
Bits and bobs.
bits and bobs.
Yeah, a few knickknacks.
Got a lot of notebooks, which I think is very telling.
What was it tell?
So it's like, oh, you did an English degree.
You're a nerd.
You did an English degree one stage of your life, and you're now old. So notebooks it is.
The English degree comes in handy every day. When do you not use English?
It's a flex.
Yeah.
It's
Exactly.
a subtle flex.
Yeah, I like to bring it up in conversations whenever I can. You know?
It's sometimes completely out of the blue.
Yeah. I have a degree in
It's
English.
like what they're talking about, you know, the weather. I'm like, you know, I did English.
Just quote White Noise.
You know, there's no fucking.
The movie, yeah.
Yeah, no, Bombach, mad.
I haven't seen it. But it's on Netflix. I think. Is it?
Sorry, yeah, it is. I got a piece of food stuck in my mouth.
Ugh, bit of ASMR.
No, yeah. It's no Bombach, and it's Adam Driver, White Noise, which I think is not the duo or the collection of people I would pick to do a Don DeLillo book, but
Yeah, I can't really vibe. I don't get the vibe with Noah Baumbach. What is he trying to do? You know, Madagascar 3, and then he's on some random buzz with Barbie, and then now he's doing this. You know, he wrote Barbie as well.
and a Marriage Story.
Yeah. See the trailer drop for Barbie?
It looks good.
It looks alright. But yeah, Noah Baumbach, what's he at?
Oh, it's just mad
What's
stuff.
his gimmick? I don't even know. I don't even know if he's a good writer.
Sorry.
'Cause I only seen a few sequences from A Marriage Story, and it looked dog shit.
No, Marriage Story is very good.
Is it?
There we go. Got that piece of food.
Yeah. Was it directed by him as well?
Yes.
Was it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
Mm.
it's Marriage Story is very good. That scene that everyone.
The famous scene, yeah.
That scene is shit. Like I don't
Yeah.
get. I watched the film twice, and like people are like, "Oh no, if you take that scene out of context, it's not good."
Yeah.
But even within context, no, it's not a good scene.
It's not a good scene.
It's not a good scene.
Yeah, White Noise.
It's a problem because it's like the pinnacle of the film. Yeah, White Noise though.
Maybe alright.
It should be alright.
That'd be good.
It will be good. I'm telling you. Will it be better though, Mark, than Alien Covenant, our final installment in the Alien half of our Alien vs Predator franchise review?
I guarantee you White Noise would be better than Alien Covenant.
God, it'd be a fucking problem if it wasn't.
It'd be a serious issue.
This is a 2017.
17.
I was going to say 16.
2017 or 2018? Yeah, 2017. It's 2017, yeah.
Yeah.
I know for a fact. I watched it in the Galactico the Galactico screen in Savoy.
You poor bastard.
Just before they closed the whole thing down. They split it in two. The only screen worth actually watching a film in the Savoy because it was huge. It was IMAX. It was very cool. A great sound system. It was kind of curved as well. It was fucking massive. And then they just tore it down. They turned it into two smaller screens, which are the same as every other screen in the Savoy. And Savoy is a shithole full of like absolute, you know, clowns, full of unsavory characters and bad films. It also smells really bad. But I remember this is the last film I saw on the Galactico screen. Yoke.
We have to pause there for some technical shit.
Technical errors.
Yeah, no, I watched this film on Netflix. I think it was 2019. Maybe it was 2019. And it had been a while since I'd seen Prometheus, but I remember liking Prometheus. And then I hadn't seen, you know, the original Aliens and Alien 3 and
all that show.
all
those shit
Resurrection. Those ones in ages. So, and I'd sat down and I watched Alien Covenant, and then when the film turned off, I was like, that was dog shit.
It is.
This is not a good movie, and I thought that maybe on rewatch I would appreciate it a bit more. No, I actually think this is worse than I remember it being. But we'll talk about the positives first. I think the ending, the absolute very ending of the film is some of the darkest shit I have ever seen in a film, and I think it is hilariously dark. I think it is like with David going off with a shipload of people that he's just going to experiment on.
Yeah.
I think that's so grim. I love it, even though it's way darker than the rest of the film.
Yeah, it is very, it's very, very bleak. Well, I felt like it was kind of a cop-out.
Oh, completely. It
like,
doesn't make any sense.
It's like it was actually David who won the fight, with Walter.
How did he maim his hand? I got like there's so much in the film that I'm left with questions. Pure cinema sins style complaints.
Yeah.
But
The film isn't good enough for us to be like
to get away with those.
Yeah.
Like there's like
it's like if you're going after the cinema sins angle with Prometheus, you're like deliberately ignoring, you know, the good things in the film. You have to like look past the stuff that actually is good in the film. In Alien Covenant, there isn't anything really good to stand out. So it's just like you're just like picking. You pick holes because it's like there is nothing. The holes are like all it is.
Well, like the good thing about the film is David again. Like David's
good, yeah.
But his whole thing of like, I will create new life. I will create a new species in the similar sense to the what are they called? The engineers from Prometheus.
Mm-hmm.
I will be the engineer to this new, you know, species that will create, which turns out to be the xenomorph, which, you know, I still don't understand how these are prequels to Alien, but we'll move past that.
Yeah.
I don't know how we get to the final point. I don't know how, like, when Ripley and all them come down on whatever planet it is, don't understand anything about how that setup happened. But regardless, I like that David has taken on to be his own version of a god. You know, he's just like, basically, remember that fucking argument that he had in Prometheus with one of the doctors, where he's just like,
Holloway.
Yeah, when he's just like, how do you think you'd feel if you found out that, you know, your creator would say to you that I could create you, so I did.
Yeah.
That is essentially what he is doing.
Yeah, he's
like,
doing it for laughs.
He's like, I can just do this, so I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
To be fair, if I could create new life just for the hell of it, I mean, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, that's the thing. That's an interesting idea, you know. And it's cool to expand. It's the only place it really could have gone for a sequel to Prometheus. But it just feels it's the way it's all kind of set up. I don't know what it is about it, but it feels like a DLC onto a game that everyone like kind of half hated. You know, it's expanding into territory that wasn't like clearly solid to begin with. It could have, because it doesn't expand on Prometheus. It just goes in like, it does in like a very like in the
second half very limitedly.
Yeah, in a very like basic way it expands on Prometheus. But there's no like thematic expansion whatsoever. It's just all the characters are like I totally forgot who was in this film, except for I just knew that what's his name, Danny McBride was in the film.
Yeah, he's the only guy I remember being in this film.
I literally don't remember I didn't remember a single character beyond him. I only knew him because I recognized his face. The main girl in this, I can't remember her name. She's fucking terrible. She's so boring. Such a boring fucking blank slate character. I don't care that James Franco is dead.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't care.
I'm always like, that's the thing about this film. Like, why? Why did you pick James Franco?
Yeah. Because you're kind of like, it would be interesting if like you started the film and then straight away within 2 minutes he's dead.
You don't even know it's James Franco. You don't even know the character is James Franco until the character is dead and they show clips afterwards.
Yeah. We're supposed to be like, oh, that feels so like I don't know this guy. I don't know who this guy is. I don't care that he's dead. You know, I don't know.
Work.
I just don't know. It doesn't work at all. And she's very flat, very boring character. And then there's like the weird, like, you know, people complain about the religious themes in Prometheus being like kind of on the nose. But like Ridley Scott's like a mad atheist as well. Like he's fucking Richard Dawkins, like
with a camera.
Yeah, seriously atheistic man. And Prometheus was just a way to explore themes, universal themes, which happen to coincide with religion.
Mm-hmm.
But then this one you have like the religious guy, who's more like just the stock character religious guy from like any other horror film.
Captain.
The captain.
Yeah.
And he's just like, but they hate me because I'm a man of the cross.
Yeah.
It's like, it would like, do you not have any original ideas in your head?
I need them to keep faith in me.
Like, yeah. It's like, just...
Fuck off.
It's not. Yeah, it's not interesting.
Just fuck off.
It's somehow like an AVP film.
Yeah.
And then he dies, and like everyone's like, yeah, whatever. Like no one really cares.
They literally don't care.
You know, don't care. No one has faith in him. The audience don't have faith in you, bro. That's your biggest problem.
I'm sure there's something about like the fact that the xenomorph sprouts from his chest and yada 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 yada. Sure, cool, whatever. It's not thematically interesting.
That would be the most generous reading of all time. Yeah. No one has had a more generous reading of Alien Covenant than that.
Yeah, no, it's just, it's like, it's the expansions with David, like, becoming his own god that I enjoy. And the scene where David and Walter are communicating, like with the fiddle.
Yeah,
And he's
that's
just
very
like-
cute.
And he's just like, oh, they've I even like the fact that like what's his name, Fassbender. My God, he is such a good actor.
Yes.
Like the way that like
Where's he been?
I don't know. Like I think
He's been off the map.
No, I know what he's been doing.
He married someone.
He
He
married.
married Alicia Vikander. Yeah.
But he's also he's taken time off for his pastime,
What's his pastime?
which is like
Racing. Yeah.
racing. He's
Yeah,
doing
yeah.
loads of races.
Fuck, man. Come on.
What a life!
Come on.
What a
Don't do
life.
that.
He did the Le Mans.
Yeah, 24. Yeah.
Yeah, he did
I
that.
was reading that as well. Actually. Yeah.
But that scene where like Michael Fassbender when he's acting the two, Walter is the newer version of David, and he's way more robotic and has way less emotion, and just the way that the two characters when they're talking to each other, you can completely just hear it in how they're speaking to each other. That one has more emotions than the other, and one philosophizes. Is that the word? Yeah. Whereas the other one is way more mechanical and, not logical, no,
American.
just American. Just way more like mechanical and just doesn't think about anything other than the solution to the problem at hand.
Yeah.
Whereas David is like they're thinking about art and thinking about music and creation and God and religion and stuff like that. Meanwhile, Walter's like, do not compute.
yeah. It's a cool kind of character couplet between them.
Ridley Scott fucking loves androids. My
Yeah.
God.
Oh, that's a great idea. It's like an android is defective. It's like that's like the genesis. Because I think we mentioned when we were talking about Prometheus beforehand, like the fact that he's way more advanced. That David is way more advanced than Bishop in Aliens, even though Aliens is set like Alien is set like 40, 50 years in the future.
Oh man, this is like that is a problem with these two films.
No, but it's explained in that one. It's explained in this.
Is it?
Yeah, because they purposely made them less advanced because they freaked out. Because David freaked out humans because he was too lifelike.
No, but it's more so the ships.
Oh, the shit. Yeah, the technology. Yeah.
That stuff like.
Yeah. We're not going to build a shitty old fucking 70s set for their their blockbuster movie. But yeah, I know
I
what you
wish
mean.
they don't look sick.
That would look kind of cool. Yeah, like a cyberpunk kind of vibe. But it's a cool little relationship that they have. I think it is kind of it's a bit on the nose the way they do it though.
Oh yeah.
I see. Yeah, it's actually a bit. It's like all the cinema sins critique that I saw a lot is that like the way we're kind of given like a breadcrumb trail which turns into just dropping huge loaves of Brennan's bread for us to follow, and it's like, oh, you can tell that David is defective because he misquotes Shelley. Or misattributes Ozymandias to Byron rather than Shelley. So that's a very basic fucking first year English mistake to make.
It's also a very human mistake.
It's a very human mistake. I hate people who make critiques like that, but they're fucking dead right in this situation. That's just that was a very stupid way.
Yeah,
that's like a first draft kind of thing. Oh, we'll fill that in. We'll get something better later. But they just left it in the film. It's like it's literally one of the most famous poems of all time.
Yeah.
And he misquotes it. It's like, bro, come on.
Come on, bro. Come on, David.
It's like they could have done it a bit more subtle.
Yeah.
Mo.
There's this. That's the thing in this film, and Prometheus as well, but much more in this film. There's just absolute no subtlety to everything. Like it's
gone. Like
even like the whole David creating the stuff that I do like about the film is so on the nose, and it's literally like shouting at you from the screen, like telling you the themes.
Even his hood when he first gets introduced, it's like he's a mad monk, but you don't need to have. And he has the long hair and stuff like that. It's so a weird thing. The CGI in this film is fucking awful.
Yeah, man.
Why
those
is it so bad?
Look like ass.
They look awful. Absolutely
they look
terrible. What's the deal there?
Yeah,
Prometheus is light years, literally light years
years
ahead of Alien Covenant for some reason, even though it was made 5 years before.
Yeah. No, the but like a lot of this film is just bad. Like I think the start of this film is bad. Like the whole thing with the solar flares lighting up the ship and and then their whole reason for going to this island, this planet that they literally don't know anything about, anything about. And like, well, we're afraid that like solar flares might happen again.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go and literally, like, there might be a chance that a solar flare hits us, but there's like an 80% probability that we're all gonna die if we go to this planet. But we're gonna take that rather than the freak accidents that happen in space.
Yeah.
Where we're going to somewhere that we know 100% we will be safe. It's
the way they decide is so stupid. It's like we have a course which we plotted for. They've been in like hypersleep for like
months.
Oh, years.
Yeah, years.
It's like
2 years. Yeah,
I
think it's 2 years or something like that.
It's quite a few years.
Yeah.
They've been on this mission and they still have a few years left, and everything's planned.
It's not even a few years. It's only a few months.
Left, is it?
Yeah, they're months away from where they need to go.
But they have everything planned. They know, like, they even know the main character knows where she's going to build a log cabin on like a lake on this new planet. And then just out of nowhere, they're like, "How about we just go somewhere else instead?" It's like, what is this? It's like, this is just, it's zero. It's the kind of thing you'd write in the first draft. We'll make up a good reason later.
Mm-hmm.
So just leave it in the film.
Yeah. It's like there's no second thoughts were put into like the reasoning behind stuff. Even like one thing I love about Prometheus is like they take quarantine very seriously. It's something that's in the first film as well. When a dude is literally spewing up black puke, and this like doctor is rushing him to the back to the shuttle, no one says you're not allowed in, quarantine. We like stay the fuck out. You can infect all of us. No one says anything about that. And then lo and behold, like and I guess maybe that's done on purpose because then they do bring him on board and then the fucking ship explodes in the like most slapstick awful 80s slasher like bumbling idiot way. Like they rush him on board and they lock the door and then she's like, no, I can't let you out because of quarantine, and the doctor decides to hug him, this dude that's convulsing and sweating and puking black blood and whatever, and then the alien pops out of him and then she runs and she slips in his blood, and then the next doctor comes in who also slips on the same pile of blood.
The way you described that, that is literally how the scene plays out.
Yeah, and then
it's messed up.
And then she gets up and she runs away and she grabs a gun and she randomly starts shooting and then she shoots a fucking gas canister and explodes the ship. You fucking idiot.
Yeah, it is. It's very hard to take seriously.
Also, that little alien, when it pops out of his chest, she scurries away. Stand up and stomp on that bitch. It's fucking tiny.
It's an alien though.
Stomp on it.
It's super strong.
Man, my boot would fucking turn that thing to mush.
Yeah.
Maybe she doesn't even know it has acid blood either.
Yeah. Oh, it's just because there are good ideas. Because it is this kind of the same story. You can tell the people who made Prometheus also made this.
You actually can.
But like, they just didn't. They put a lot of love into Prometheus. Put a lot of thought. There was a lot. Everything was better. The CGI was better. The story was better. The themes were better. Everything was very well thought out. There was some level. It wasn't subtle, but there was some artistry to the way they put things together. And an Alien Covenant, all of that stuff is gone. None of it is there. It's just a really fucking basic. It's a sci-fi film you'd find on Netflix and then watch it and be like, I just wasted 2 hours of my time. Like, it's
a bad sci-fi film.
Yeah, it's a bad sci-fi. It's a bad film.
Yeah, even like even the engineers look completely different in this film than they do in Prometheus. They just look like humans.
Yeah.
But like in like Prometheus, they're big. They're fucking huge. Oh wait, maybe it's the fact that they're more evolved, but that's not brought up into the film whatsoever.
They're more evolved,
like, because how long were the engineers in Prometheus on that planet for? Like, was it a couple thousands? No, thousands of years. That doesn't make any sense because.
Which planet?
Like
both planets are military installations in the films.
But I'm talking about like you know that shot that when you see David unleash the plague on the
yeah.
Those engineers who are meant to be the same species as the ones that are in Prometheus look completely different. Maybe it's because the budget didn't allow for them to fucking maybe a lot
Just
of
paint a lot of people white.
Yeah, it's
Get out there.
It's good enough.
Yeah,
Get out there.
That'll do. Yeah, that scene really just like it ruined the mystique of a lot. It's like the engineers. It's like why is he so big? Why is he so like? Why does he look like fucking Judge Holden? Like what's the crack? Like they're mysterious alien beings, and they make you question things.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you look at them and you're not going. They just it's like a fucking question mark in a manifested. You know, but then in this film, it's they have a little planet and they have little babies running around and it's like fucking Planet of the Apes or something like that. It looks silly. It ruins the mystique. And then it turns David into some, because it's a broader problem with the films is the fact that it kind of makes, because the way that they're prequels to Alien, it kind of implicates this fucking galaxy spanning conspiracy, which humans are at the the center of, which is kind of defeats the purpose in a lot of ways of an alien film.
Yeah,
and then
it makes the whole horror of Alien like we found this fucking random alien out in the middle of nowhere and like this is what's out there.
Yeah, this is the universe.
And directly tying that back to humans is a problem.
Yeah, as saying
it's like humans are the only thing they are literally the only thing that matter.
Yeah. It's like it wasn't an accident. This is actually the xenomorphs are actually linked back to humans. And we kind of created them, but like also didn't. And it's like really, just keep it simple. You could keep it a bit simpler. Let's like leave the mystique, leave a bit of mystique there. They didn't need to go into so much detail, way too much detail, crushing the butterfly, leaving it. Just leave it.
Yeah,
forget about it. You know.
Yeah.
I would say retcon Alien Covenant and make a real sequel to Prometheus.
Yeah.
In my opinion,
it's not a good movie.
It's not.
It's not, and like it's one of those movies where, like while watching it, I was like, how did that happen? Like how is there two xenomorphs at the end of the film? They kill one of them, and then another one just shows up on the fucking ship. Where did he come from? Maybe I missed it. Was I looking away? Yeah, but like, how did they? Like, you need a human to put the fucking thing on.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
You know. There's like so much in the film, and there's like other bits in the film as well. That are like, how did that work? Like, how is this happening? Why is no one concerned over the 2,000 or 2,500 colonists you have on this massive ship?
Yeah.
You do not care about them whatsoever.
They're never brought in. They mention them once, or someone mentions them once as like a kind of a. In the process of trying to coup one of the captain or something like that.
Danny McBride is like, we need to go down there, and like we have 2,500 colonists. We cannot go down there for any reason. 30 minutes later, all right, Danny, we're with you. Let's go down there.
Yeah, fuck it, let's go. After a few cans, you know what? You're actually there, right?
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
I think Danny McBride is one of the few characters that survive as well. He deserved it.
He did deserve it. But he also was a shit character.
Yeah.
His character's shit. I didn't care that his wife died. I didn't care about any of the characters in any way.
No. I literally I didn't even know the name of any of the characters.
Yeah, I literally can't remember a single. Oh, no, wait. No, it's gone. It's gone. Danny McBride's character was in my head, but it's gone now. It's like Red or something, isn't it? Or Cowboy. This is where they have. But I also didn't like David.
Is it Tennessee or something like that?
Tennessee, yeah.
Yeah.
But I didn't like Dave. I found him too smug. I was like, bro, come on, calm down. At least he's villainous in Prometheus, but villainous in a kind of interesting way. You're like, what are his motivations?
What's going on here?
Why is he doing this? Is he sentient? Is he defective? What's
Daniels, that's her name.
Daniels
is the main person.
Yeah. She's an inherent voice. But like in this one, he's just kind of like transparently evil, and you kind of root against him, but not in a way that I found satisfying. You know,
the top review on Letterboxd is a huge improvement over Prometheus. People are so wrong.
These fucking dweebs on Letterboxd have no idea what they're talking about. Prometheus is genuinely one of the best films of the 2010s. I would put all my reputation as a Paropod co-host.
I bought it on Blu-ray today.
Prometheus.
Yeah,
I've on Blu-ray. One of the best films of the 2010s. Alien Covenant isn't even the same universe.
Oh, it's bad.
I refuse to recognize it in the same canon. It should be retconned ASAP.
Yeah, not a good time.
Not a good time.
Do you know what actually was a better time?
What?
My COVID movie binges.
Oh, okay.
I watched a handful of films over my isolation period. One of which is our recommended film for this episode. It's a Wonderful Life, which I forgot to do at the start of the episode, but we'll get on to that later on.
It was implied. It's Christmas episode.
Yeah, come on. Everyone knows. If you're not watching or you're not listening week to week, what are you doing? Okay, so first film I watched was Funeral Parade of Roses. This is a 1960s, it was the 30s. Wait, 1960s? Yeah, 1960s Japanese film about the gay underground scene, basically. Follows a trans woman called Eddie. That's her name. And yeah, this is like a film that has literally no plot until like last 20 minutes.
Where did you find this?
Robin, two friends, they like it. And I saw Nick Spheres talk about it as well.
Ah, very good.
So I said, I'm going to check that out. This is like a vibe film. Like really beautifully shot, really like looks at, you know, transness as a thing of beauty, like just shows you like here are these people's bodies that we don't, and we're not sexualizing them, and there's this weird format thing, or not like weird like format thing where there's like interviews with people, but I'm not sure if it's I think it's interviews with the actors.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure that's what it is, and asking them like, what is it like to be, they call it gay boy, but I'm pretty sure that's like just like an outdated term for just being like a trans woman, or just like you know,
it's from the 60s, right?
It's from the 60s, and it's like 60s Japan, so I don't know how
Mishima's running around. Like.
Yeah, I don't know how you know.
It's not very modern,
how woke they were back then, but they and just ask them like, you know, what is it like and stuff like that. And it's like, what made you want to, you know, what made you want to be, you know, a gay boy? And they're just like, nothing made me want to be, I just am. And like it really like humanizes them, and it's a real beautiful film. There's like a scene where they do a bunch of drugs. I'm not sure what they do. Maybe they're smoking joints, but they do a bunch of drugs and they just vibe out in a room all together. And you're just like, man, I wish I was in that room, because that looks like a lot of fun. Just people hanging out, having a good time, like just like vibing with each other. And there's a couple bits like that in the film. And then I looked up, I was like near the end of the film, and I pulled out my phone and I was like, I'm just going to look up like, you know, the Wikipedia page on this. And it said, you know, Funeral Parade of Roses is loosely based off the Greek tragedy Oedipus Rex. And I was like,
what?
I was sitting there, I was like, man, people make up shit about saying like, oh, this is an adaptation of this, and it's like, it's got nothing to do with it whatsoever. And then the last 20 minutes happened. I was like, oh, okay, there it is. there it is.
Where is it? What happens?
The dude that she's been fucking the entire time is revealed to have been her dad. And her dad doesn't recognize her because A, because she's trans, but B, because he walked out and he sees a photograph of her as a little kid, and he's like, wait a second, I recognize that woman. Oh no. Oh no.
That is horrifying.
Yeah. So then he kills himself, and then she walks in and she blinds herself after she realizes what it is. Yeah.
Jesus. You watched this in your first day of isolation?
First day of isolation. Second day of isolation, I watched Satantango.
Satantango, what the fuck? 10 hours long, isn't it?
7
hours long.
7.5.
What's it about again? It's about a Hungarian
it's
village.
About a Hungarian village
Post-Holocaust.
Post-Holocaust. Post USSR. The fall of communism has happened.
Ooh.
And this like very small little village have been working in a factory now. The factory's closed because you know the economy isn't doing well, surprisingly, once your
what happened there?
Yeah, once your entire economic system collapses. Yeah. So the factory closes, and these people are sitting around waiting for basically like a cash to be sent to them, and then they can use that money and get out. So I tried to watch this film previously before, and I think one of the episodes, I can't remember which episode it was, I talked about part 1 because I'd made it halfway through the film, and I broke it into parts to watch because it's a 7-hour long film. No one has time with that. Time for watch a film that's 7 hours long, unless you have COVID and you've got nothing else to do.
Yeah.
So I watched this all in one sitting.
In one sitting?
Now.
You watched a 7-hour film in one sitting?
Now.
Are you okay?
It took me 9 hours.
No wonder you went insane the second day. You're there doing sit-ups locked watching Satantango.
I finished Satantango and then I got lost.
Push-ups, sorry, yeah.
No, I think it took me 10 hours to watch this film.
10 hours.
Because I took breaks.
Pee breaks
and just breaks just to look at my phone and shit like that.
Yeah.
Because it's a 7-hour long film. But I watched it in one day, which is the main thing.
That's crazy.
And genuinely, it's like the only way to watch this film. Because if you watch it, because I was talking to Melissa about this, and she was like, why didn't they just make it like a series? Or like, why did they make it a TV show? And I think that the thing is that having tried to watch it as a TV show, it completely ruins the flow of the film. Like, there's a clip to this film where, like, the film wants you to be in this vibe for 7 hours, but it wants you to be in this vibe and to stick with these characters because not a lot is happening in the film. Like, I think there was... Someone asked him how many cuts in the film is there, and I think there's something like 100 cuts in the film or something like that.
It's 7 hours.
And it's 7 hours. So there's a lot of shots of just like people doing stuff.
There's a cut every 5 minutes.
If it cuts every 5 minutes, there must be less than that. It's less than 100 cuts.
Oh,
it might be like 45 cuts or something like that.
Holy
because
moly.
there's full on 15-minute sequences that happen where like the camera's just holding on like whatever's happening. And yeah, there's a certain vibe to this film. And once I made it to the halfway point, I was like, okay, now we're into new territory. And that is, I will say that is where the narrative of the film picks up, because basically what happens is that this village of 8 or 9 people, how many people it is, are first waiting for money to come in, and some of them are plotting to leave and take everyone else's money and just use it for themselves. And then they get word that Aramis, I think his name is coming, and Aramis is someone that they thought was dead. And he was he's essentially a cult figure who's now coming back with his mate. And some people are terrified. Some people are like ecstatic. Other people are like so just what the fuck is gonna happen? Some people are like now hopeful for what is going to happen. Like everyone has like mixed reactions to what's gonna happen to when Aramis comes in. And Aramis comes in. And immediately is like, all right, everyone. And like he comes in at an opportune moment where like this little girl has died, and she was like a child of neglect from the entire village, and she ends up like killing herself by drinking rat poison. And he comes in during her funeral, and basically uses this moment to manipulate everyone into giving him the money. And he's like, I will take this money now, and you will all go off to this mansion, and I'll come back tomorrow, and we'll start a new life all together. We'll buy a farm, and we'll set up a new life. And everyone's like, okay, grand, let's do this. And then he goes off, and he meets up with some dude to buy bombs. And you're like, oh, okay.
All right.
And
interesting.
He shows up late then, and when he shows up late, people are snapping and freaking out, being like, he's after just bailing with the money. And he comes in and he's like, I can't believe that you would have so little faith in me. I've been running around back and forth, going everywhere. And they don't know that he's been talking to the police about everyone there as well.
Yeah.
And, so he's like, I can't believe you had so little faith within me. And he's like, if you want your money, take it, but never speak to me again. And one of the guys is like, no, I didn't mean it. Please, like, take the money back. And is like begging him to take the money back. And Aramis is like, no. And as like This is like fucking 5 hours into the film, and you're like, this is the most manipulative thing I think I've ever fucking seen.
Yeah.
This is horrendous. Like watching this small group of people break down because they don't have any hope or any faith. Like the government have just abandoned them. They're out in the middle of nowhere. This is their one piece of salvation, and it's someone that you know at this stage is going to fuck them over somehow.
It's like A Wonderful Life in reverse.
Oh, yeah, literally. It's like, please take my money. Please, George. So Irmis, like, then just gaslights and manipulates everyone into giving him the money. And he's just like, okay, I'm going to send you all off in a different way because we can't set up the farm right now. So you're all going to fuck off. And in a year's time, we'll meet back. And he sends them off on their ways or whatever, like tells them what they're going to do.
Dodgy.
And then the film ends with this. There was a doctor basically in the village, and it ends with him riding out and hearing like this church bell ringing. At the start of the film, basically, there's a church bell ringing, and everyone's like, "No one's been up at the church. That's not possible. Like, you didn't hear that church bell ringing." To one of the characters, but then the doctor comes back to the village once everyone's gone. And he goes into his study and he starts writing down that he doesn't know where everyone else is. And then he hears the church bell ringing and he goes out to it. And there's just some dude that you've never met, this like madman just ringing the bell saying that like the Nazis are coming or whatever. And the doctor's like, well, that's fucking weird. And he walks away and he starts writing into his journal. And the opening monologue of the film is what he is writing.
Yeah.
So the whole idea is that the whole thing is cyclical, and that like we are the villagers, like we lose faith in everything, and we trust con men and cult leaders and give them our money, hoping for a better life, hoping that we'll make it out of whatever is going on, But it's cyclical, and it just keeps happening over and over again.
That's the most post-Soviet film I've ever heard of.
Oh man, it's great.
That sounds good though.
It's a
7 hours though. Could you stick this on double speed?
Yes. You can make this a 3.5 hour long film if you wanted to.
Right.
But
that sounds so depressing.
But there's like a whole thing in the film, like just sitting in a vibe. Like when we first meet the doctor, there's like 15 minutes of him struggling around his house, breathing heavily, drunk. And I have never felt, I know I had COVID, but I've never felt more ill. Like, it was like, I felt tired watching him.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man, am I breathing heavy? Like, what the fuck is happening here?
It's contagious.
He's like, and I'm picking stuff up, and then he like fumbles and he falls over, and I was like, oh Jesus. Like, you
get up.
You feel the dirt. You feel, because like, there's like a vibe in this film. It's like the way that like in Texas Chainsaw Massacre, like you feel the heat and you feel like the sweat and everything off the film.
Yeah.
This is like you can feel the dirt and cold and wind in this film constantly. The best thing I'd say about this film is it is 7 hours long, and I would definitely watch it again at some stage of my life.
What would you give it out of 5?
5.
5?
Yeah, I watched this and I was like,
holy moly!
I watched this and I was like, that's one of the best films I've ever seen. Like, just like the just in turn, like it's a type of film where like it makes me think about filmmaking in a way that I never thought about it before. Like texture of like the image and sound, because there's not a lot happening in the shots, and it's like sitting on it for fucking ages, but it lets you like reflect and think about it. And even just like the mundanity and boredom of it is, what the characters are feeling themselves. And there's not much plot, so as a viewer, you're searching for meaning, like the people themselves. Like you're waiting for a narrative to eventually come, and it doesn't really come. Like it comes a bit.
It's like interactive.
Interactive
in a non-interactive way.
Yeah, it's literally. It's like I'm trying to think of another film that does something like that, like
Tokyo Story.
Yes.
Transcendental.
Literally, yeah. It's like a form of transcendental filmmaking.
Yeah.
In that Ozu sort of way.
That sounds really interesting.
It is, but it's also 7 hours.
I would say that I will watch it, but I probably won't. But I also feel like it's something that I could put on at work. and just watch.
Yeah, it's the type of film where like you don't
But like,
have to be giving it your full attention. Like,
yeah.
there's benefits to doing it, and I didn't, give it my full
Is it
attention.
depressing?
Like, not okay. There's a scene with a cat that's real fucking grim, where this little girl kills a cat, and it goes on for fucking ages. Like everything to do with the little girl is depressing and is very upsetting because it's literally just a child of neglect
Killing a cat.
and then killing herself.
God.
That's not fun.
Yeah.
But everything else is lighthearted.
Yeah. My God.
Yeah, no.
Eastern Europe.
It's some film that I it's not a film that I would recommend to people.
Stick it on the gaffer.
But
Yeah.
I'm sure there's someone out there who like this film.
Recommend a film for next week. Satantango. Based on the book.
Based on the book. All right. Third film I watched.
The Nun.
A complete 180. Because after watching Satantango, the next day I was like, I need some shit. I need to watch some dog shit. So I turned on The Nun.
The Nun.
The Conjuring universe film. The prequel to Conjuring and Conjuring 2.
This film looked dog shit.
This film is dog shit, man. This film, but it's like, it's entertaining dog shit.
Okay.
There's because the first 30 minutes, I'll say, is relatively slow. Like, it's building tension, it's building mystique. It's it's not amazing, but it's it's doing the same thing that Conjuring 1 and Conjuring 2 did, where it's a slow build up. And then a character walks out of this nunnery, and he's walking through a graveyard, and a zombie nun lands on top of him and tries to eat him. It is the biggest tonal whiplash I have ever experienced while watching a film, because it's imagine watching I don't know, okay, right, an extreme example, The Shining, and it's just building up tension very slowly, and then it turns into Evil Dead 2.
Yeah.
It is
the bartender jumps over the bar and tries to eat Jack Torrance.
Yeah, and it's just hey, yeah, Jack.
Yeah.
It's insane. There's a bit where a character gets buried alive, and while being buried alive in the coffin, he's getting grabbed by the ghoulies, and he's screaming and he's asking for help, and this character who is psychic comes to him, rescues him, whatever, and he gets out of the he gets buried alive, then grabbed by a fucking ghost, and this is a dude that's he's a priest who's dealt with the supernatural before.
He's been in this situation before.
The most, imagine being buried alive by yourself and something grabs you.
It's pretty stressful.
That's the worst thing that could happen to anyone.
Possibly happen. Yeah.
Imagine at the end of what was that thing called?
Buried.
No, not. What was the one that we watched?
The Vanishing.
The Vanishing.
Yeah.
Imagine at the end of The Vanishing, you just see a couple of hands coming out at the end, right? So that's what happened to this dude, and he gets out of the coffin and he just dusts himself off, and he's like, right, what are we gonna do now? And it's what the fuck, bro? That's the worst thing that has ever happened to someone, and you're literally dusting yourself off.
He's coping well.
Let's go. They introduce a shotgun into this film at one stage, which is something I never thought would happen in a Conjuring movie. But
a shotgun.
They shotgun the shit out of some zombie nuns.
That's always a good Sheba in the Conjuring. Just take a gun to her head. You know?
I mean, I think shotgun would solve a lot of problems in a lot of these movies.
In the ghost universe, yeah.
Yeah, this is a dog shit film, real bad, but extremely entertaining. There was moments where I was laughing at what was happening on screen
intentionally.
No, oh god,
it's
no.
Bad. It's bad.
Just in terms of this is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah. I have to say I've never felt the need to watch The Nun.
Oh no, definitely not.
But I loved The Conjuring, but I never felt even. Annabelle as well. I was never I want to watch these films.
I watched Annabelle. This is worse than Annabelle.
I watched Annabelle as well. Yeah.
This is a lot worse than Annabelle. I've seen
Annabelle's shit as well.
Annabelle is shit. I've seen Conjuring 1, 2, 3, Annabelle, and The Nun. I have 2 more Annabelle movies to watch. There's 3 Annabelle films.
Is there?
Yeah.
That's
There's
our
Annabelle
next. That's
Creation.
our next series.
And Annabelle Comes Home. That actually wouldn't be a bad show because I haven't seen.
That only has one good film in the entire series.
Conjuring 2 is good.
It's not really, is it?
It's a good like horror film.
It's like it's okay. Like.
Yeah, no, it's good. I think the reason why this like The Nun is a movie is because The Nun is the best scares out of Conjuring 2.
Yeah, that is a really good scare. I have to say.
So
Yeah.
they do it, but like she doesn't do anything like that in this film.
Yeah, really, no.
No,
That was her whole thing.
yeah, no, she didn't do nothing like that in this film.
That was a good scare. Actually, I remember that in cinema. That was very good. They should just do Amityville Horror with the Warrens. So they were literally involved now. Why don't they just make that? It's been nearly 20 years since the last Amityville Horror film. Remake it in the Conjuring universe. There you go. Bob's your uncle. $600 million gross. Guaranteed.
Easy money.
Give me the paycheck now. I'm an ideas man. Sign me up, 20th Century Fox. We got this.
I don't know, because I think The Conjuring might be just dead. Because
it was huge.
I watched The Conjuring 3.
There's a third Conjuring.
Yeah.
When was that?
Yeah, exactly. I think 2019, maybe 2020. Could be 2020. Yeah. I watched that film within the last 2 years. I cannot remember a single thing about that film. I think that was just maybe the most generic horror film I've ever seen. There's a good bit where a kid's on a waterbed. I remember that much. And the demon like puts his hands on the other side of the waterbed.
Yeah.
And then you can see his face. That was creepy.
The devil made me do it.
Yeah. When's it from? 2019, 2020?
It's 2021. It was last year. It was last May.
Oh my god, I literally do not remember that film whatsoever.
That's so weird. I've never even heard of this film. The Exorcist. Maybe actually, is this the one that ends in the house? Or is that the second one? There's like a house and it's like, oh! No.
That's the second one.
That's the second one.
Second one's in England.
Ed plays the Valak. I cast you from this house, Valak. Yeah, I haven't seen this film.
Yeah, no, Conjuring 3 is...
Wait, is this one where he plays Elvis on guitar? That's the second one, is it? Where Ed Warren plays... he plays... Can't Help Falling in Love with You.
I'm going to say it's the second one.
That's
That
the
happens
second.
because
I
I
think
don't
that's
remember that from any of these films.
I don't think I've seen that film. I love The Conjuring, though. I was such a big fan.
Yeah, The Conjuring 1 is banging.
Yeah. Banger.
And you know what else is banging?
Ah.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. I rewatched this film. I've been meaning to rewatch this film for a long time because I remember...
Chainsaw Dick.
I remember crazy shenanigans happening in the film, and I remember not liking the film because I was like, this is not what I wanted from my Texas Chainsaw Massacre film.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I have matured. I've grown up. I've since watched a now deleted Nick Fury's video talking about that very experience.
You've accepted the Chainsaw Dick.
I've accepted that Chainsaw Massacre 2 is not the film that I wanted it to be. But how about rewatching it and taking it for what it is?
Okay.
And what it is fucking genius. Rewatching this film, I now understand. I was thinking, okay, so like everything about the original film is parodied and a complete piss take. Every single thing. Toby Hooper. I was going to say Hobie Tooper.
Hobie Tooper.
Hobie Tooper. Like, literally destroyed Texas Chainsaw Massacre. To the point where the third and fourth film do not make any sense and struggle with the fact that the second film has done this.
How could you have done this, Toby?
They cannot write a way around, so they have to like pretend that the second film didn't happen, and then the fourth film has to pretend that the second and third film didn't happen. Like he killed the fucking franchise by doing this, and maybe is the reason why the third and fourth films are so fucking bad. So we take the very basic thing from the first film. The first film is about a bunch of unemployed slaughterhouse workers who have lost their jobs because of technology and are now residing in the middle of nowhere in Texas and have to resort to cannibalism to survive. In this film, that very same family have now started a booming business and live in a very populated area of Texas, and are making so much fucking money and don't live in a macabre house of horrors like they did in the first film. They live in a underground carnival that with tunnels going everywhere, and it is just bonkers and insane. The Leatherface, who was completely asexual in the first film and had a very specific maternal role within that family, is now just straight up the teenage boy, because we don't need you to be the mother, because we're not struggling anymore. You can be the fucking horny little teenager, and that's what he is. He's a horny teenager. He's the little brother that is like who's like just mistreated by his family, but also like has hormones and stuff. It's like it's so fucking weird. It's like all the horrors of what was behind, the mask of Leatherface in the first film, completely parodied. Even in terms of the Vietnam stuff from the first film, you've got Chop Top in this one be like, oh, I got fucking Nam flashbacks, and like rubbing his plate on his head and like eating his skin and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, Leatherface, you giving me Nam flashbacks. It's like taking the piss out of it. Everything from the first film is destroyed and parodied, and Leatherface fucking dies at the end of this film, and it's Toby Hooper being like, this is the end of the franchise.
Does he die?
He dies. He gets blown up in the end of this film.
I can't remember that.
He gets chainsawed in the gut and lands on the table holding his guts, and then a grenade goes off underneath him.
Oh yeah.
Like he's fucking dead.
Yeah.
And now watching the film and like thinking about like that's what. Even like the music, there's like so much rock music in this film. It's loud. It's not the slow, subtle horror of the first film. This film is so in your face. There's chainsaw fights. Like
Dennis Hopper's in this film.
But that's the thing. Dennis Hopper's in this film.
Yeah.
He's running around screaming, tear it down, like chainsawing down the set. And me now watching this film, like, it's like a director stand-in. It's lit. That's Toby Hooper. Tear it all down, like chainsawing down his own film, like this like monument of horror. He is now just destroyed in the second film. Like now watching this film the second time, it is the second best film in the franchise.
Would you say that?
It's the second best film in the franchise. Mark,
well, yeah, that's not hard.
It's not hard, but it's genuinely a film I would give 5 stars to now.
5 stars.
5 stars.
Man,
rewatching it, I was like, it's still gross. Like the first film was so dry and like you feel the heat off the film. And this one, it's so gooey when they're in the underground like macabre or carnival of horrors. It's gooey, it's so wet, and it's so gross. Like she has to wear her mate's face for a bit and runs around, and Toby Hooper like knocks down, or not Toby Hooper, Dennis Hopper knocks down a wall and just guts spill out from it. Like this whole place is so wet. It's gross. Even fucking Granddad in this one, he's not the dried up shriveled old man. In this one, like, it zooms up on his mouth and he's like eating his snots and shit. It's so gross.
Yeah.
Like it's just tonally the complete opposite.
Yeah, you have to respect the grind. You have to respect the grind. But like, it's like, bro, you made one of the best films ever made. But this is like it's like third film, isn't it?
I have no idea.
He hadn't made a lot of films. And straight away he's like, fuck it, tear it all down.
But
bro, you made one film, one of the greatest films ever made, but like one film.
I'm wondering now, explicitly because Halloween was a thing. When did Halloween 2 and 3 come out?
A year after. Well, Halloween 2 was 79.
80. Halloween is 78. Halloween 2 is 81. Halloween 3, yeah.
I thought it was always like a year after.
Halloween 3 is 82. I thought that as well.
Oh, it must be. Yeah.
Halloween 4 is 98.
Jeez.
So when does Texas Chainsaw 2 come out?
That's mid-80s, isn't it?
86.
86.
I would imagine that Toby Hooper looked at other horror franchises, and especially slashers, because Jesus, slashers blew up in the 80s.
Friday
and he's just like, I'm killing my franchise for now.
Get it over with first.
Don't let that happen to my baby. And it happened anyway, regardless.
Yeah, it actually kind of contributed to it
Mm.
in a weird way.
Because like, oh, now we can just keep remaking it.
Yeah, they're kind of like, yeah, you've really cleared the slate here, Toby. Thank you very much.
So now we can just keep making sequels to the original film, which is basically what happened to this entire franchise. Because the third film is a sequel to the first film. The fourth film is a sequel to the first film.
Yeah.
Then they remade it, and then they made a sequel to the first film,
Again.
and then I think a sequel to the first film again.
Yeah.
They made two. They made
No one respects the canon.
4, 5 sequels to the first film.
Yeah, yeah.
All because they made this film. And he would not allow you to make a third film in this timeline.
You have to respect the stubbornness,
Mm.
you know? The
Fair play to you.
cheek, the absolute neck on him.
Yeah. The gall.
The gall,
The fucking gall.
the audacity.
Yeah. How dare you?
You
How dare you not
audacious bastard.
allow us to capitalize off what you've made?
Yeah, what the hell? What the hell, bro? Toby Hooper, may he rest in peace.
Mm-hmm. King.
Yeah, I don't
Absolute
think
king.
I wasn't a fan of Texas Chainsaw 2. I don't know when I'll get a chance to watch it again, but based on what you're saying, maybe I will.
I recommend.
I will leave it in that pile, the mental pile in my head. It's it's like
To return.
available to watch again.
Yeah.
Yeah. If the situation ever arises,
Yeah. It's worth it. I'd
Mhm.
say. It's decent.
It's Dees.
It's decent.
5 stars. It's
5 stars. It's decent. Just for what it is, I just think it's like they literally do not make films like this.
They actually don't.
It's literally a version of Gremlins 2.
Gremlins 2 before Gremlins 2 was a thing.
Mhm.
Gremlins 2 was 1990, I believe.
What?
I think.
Mad.
Because Gremlins was 1986 or 84, wasn't it? Something like that. It was before this film, but Gremlins 2 was a few years after. But, yeah, no.
That's mad.
Texas Chainsaw 2. Speaking of films that Dennis Hopper starred in, I watched Speed.
Yo.
Speed with Keanu Reeves.
Fucking yo.
Postman Patrick. Honestly, a lot of people don't know those videos. A lot of people in Dublin surprisingly don't know those videos.
What the fucking yo? Those videos.
Yeah.
How the fuck do people know those videos?
I don't know. Everyone knows. Everyone that we know knows them.
Staple of Facebook.
Yeah. Like, aren't asking people. Maybe they're just afraid to open up about it. But
Reminds them of a bad era.
yeah.
They scroll through, see a fucking yo,
They're-
Postman Pat, and then they scroll down a bit further, see an ISIS Belgium video.
Yeah.
They just block the two things out.
Yeah. I could well be it, yeah. It's a nicest video over and up with fucking Postman Patrick sounds. Oh, stop. Anyway. I watched Speed. I've never seen Speed before. Sandra Bullock, Keanu Reeves, Jeff Daniels in a dramatic role, and Dennis Hopper as the villain. I'd never seen Speed before. I've only seen it referenced in the hundreds of ways it's been referenced.
Father Ted is the best one.
Oh, yeah, the milk truck.
Yeah.
It's very, very good. And in The Simpsons, randomly in The Simpsons and stuff. But Speed, I have to say, unpopular opinion, very good film.
I've never seen it.
Really?
Yeah, I've
it's
never
good.
seen it.
It's a good action film. It's kind of long. It's like 2 hours long. But they make it work. It's such a fucking stupidly simple premise.
Mm.
It's literally back to basics. Any good action film you should be able to understand it in like one line, like less than one line. It's like speed. It's like
It's one word.
you only need one word. It's like speed. If you slow down, you die.
Yeah.
Like literally, that's it. If you slow down, you die. Like it's a very, very simple premise. There's a bomb on the bus. Everyone knows this. There's a bomb on the bus. If it goes below 50 or something like that, it blows up. And there's all these fucking crazy like set pieces set up where Keanu Reeves like jumps onto the bus and he jumps off the bus and he's like, there's like an old lady gets blown up at the door or something. Like Sandra Bullock's like going over 50 miles an hour around like a hairpin corner and stuff like that.
Oof.
It's great stuff. Great. Like it's just stupid fun. Great fun to watch. There's nothing really else to it, you know. Dennis Hopper. This is my unpopular opinion.
I'm just thinking of the bit in Father Ted where like the boxes are in the way and he starts slowly moving the boxes out of the way before Dougal gets to them and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm just imagining that when you're describing these hairpin like close counters, I'm just imagining it in Father Ted.
That episode, I haven't seen that episode since I watched it, but I would love to watch that episode again purely for the comparative kind of thing. Because Speed is so intense and you're like, oh, is she going to make it around the corner? Oh, Keanu Reeves, bro. It's like he's underneath the bus disarming a bomb at one stage. And the wheels fall off his fucking his thing that he's on.
Oh, stop!
And he's just kind of hanging on. It's like, oh shit! It's like, Keanu, watch out! There's like
This sounds a whopper, bro.
No, it's really good. Like, it's just so stupidly simple, and that's what makes it work so well. But yeah, my unpopular opinion is I don't like Dennis Hopper as a villain. He's cartoonishly villainous in a way that I don't think works in anything except like a Looney Tunes fucking film or something.
Have you seen
like that.
Blue Velvet?
Yeah.
I think that's the point of Blue Velvet.
Yeah, but like I don't it's Blue Velvet is very uncomfortable. Like Frank's very, very like uncomfortable.
Very rapey.
Yeah, he's a rapist. Like, it's hard to watch, really hard to watch. And that's kind of the point. And he is, like, he has that down, that vibe, that kind of like greasy, fucking pervert. Like, that's the character there. But
what was Dennis Hopper's like big breakout role?
He was in like Platoon or something, wasn't he? Or he's in one of those war films. Actually, I don't know him that well. See, I'm thinking Texas Chainsaw 2. He's in Speed, and he does a very similar role in something else. I can't remember what it is right now.
Is Dennis Hopper? This might be blasphemous. Is Dennis Hopper considered a very good actor?
Yes.
I don't think I've seen him in anything.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
that I'm like, he's a really good actor.
It's like because people don't say this, but like I've read it's like Dennis Hopper's in this film. I was like, also, you know, fun fact, Dennis Hopper is actually in this really bad film. You know,
who's the Apocalypse Now? Yeah,
Apocalypse Now, as if he's like some, you know, world-renowned thespian of the arts. But I don't like him. I don't like him as a villain. Super Mario Brothers.
As soon as you said that, I just saw Super Mario Brothers.
He's in Speed, Texas Chainsaw 2, and Super Mario Brothers. He's literally the same guy in all those three films. Like they're the same character, which is really bizarre. Because Super Mario Brothers 2, it's a shit film, whatever. He does what he can in the role. He's kind of too serious with it as well, but also cartoonish. But that's just kind of his style. Texas Chainsaw 2, kind of cartoonish, whatever. Speed, like considering the first two, I was kind of like, maybe that's just like that's the role he's in. You know, it's like a comic book film.
Yeah.
A kind of a piss take parody horror film, slapstick kind of thing. But then you go to Speed, and he's literally he's the exact same. He doesn't change register whatsoever. It's just like the things going on around him are a lot more realistic, a lot more serious, more dramatic, more grounded. But the character is just like laughing maniac. He's very hard to take seriously. Which is because Speed isn't, it's not like a super serious film, so it still works.
Yeah.
But it could be blasphemous. I'm not a big fan. Not a big fan.
I'm literally scrolling through Dennis Hopper's like letterbox here. In each one of these things, he's not the lead. He's always a supporting role.
Never the bride.
So I don't. He's like literally like, you know, his top films: Apocalypse Now, Blue Velvet, Speed, True Romance, Devil Without a Cause, Easy Rider. I don't know what the fuck that is. Okay, maybe he's the lead in that. Cool Hand Luke, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. They're his top 8 films on Letterboxd. One of them he is the lead in, maybe. And even at that, I don't think he's the lead.
Why is he so legendary?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't get it. Is it just because he's in Apocalypse Now?
I don't even remember him in Apocalypse Now.
Neither do I.
Was he in a TV show?
I don't know. But yeah, he is kind of like it works in Speed.
Dennis Hopper's dead, R.I.P.
Is he?
Dennis Hopper died in 2010.
Did he?
Yeah.
What? I thought he was alive. I was convinced he was alive.
Yeah, same. I already didn't know that at all.
What the hell? Rest in peace. Jesus, I'll take it all back.
Sorry,
what
bro.
What the fuck?
Let this be Kill on the Dead.
I was just trying to stop him from doing this again. But yeah.
I did not know he was dead. Oh my god.
I had no idea he was dead.
Bro, he's one of the best supporting actor.
In what?
He saw a
Speed.
career resurgence in
Super Mario Brothers.
in 1986 when he was widely acclaimed for his performances in Blue Velvet and Hosiers? The latter of which saw him nominated for Best Supporting Actor.
Hosiers. I've never seen that.
Sorry, you pronounce it?
Yeah, Hoosiers. Oh,
Hoosiers?
Yeah, Hoosiers.
I've never heard of that film.
It's a biopic about Hosier. Sorry. Anyway. But Keanu Reeves is in Speed, and he's you know that voice, the action movie voice, where he talks like that. He literally does that voice the entire film, and it's great. Very, very cheesy. Kind of matches up with Dennis Hopper's performance, which is like as I was saying, it's not that big a deal, but like he's very good at it. He talks like this the entire film. He's like, Sandra Bullock, you gotta turn around that bend. So we got no more time. We got 1 minute. We got 1 mile left to road before the roadblock. It's like there's a point in the film where they're on a motorway and they're bombing it down on the bus, and it's like it's so ridiculous because they have all the different set pieces have gone past, and then he gets word from the chief, and he's like I don't know what like, Daniels. It's like you're running out of road, Daniels. He's like, I know, Chief. I know. I got this though. It's like I'm not joking here. There's no more road. There's an intersection which hasn't been built.
Oh yeah, I've seen it.
There's a part of the road which just cuts off, so they have to. They got
to build a ramp or something.
No, they just fucking leap over the over the gap. They just get up to like 80 or 80 miles an hour, and just like it just makes on a bus. It just make any sense, but it's great to watch. You should definitely watch it. You'd really like it. You should watch it with your dad.
Oh, I said my dad loves this film.
Yeah.
You know what's the sequel?
No.
Do you know what the sequel is?
Yeah, Cruise Control.
Yeah.
Speed 2, Cruise Control.
They're on a boat and they can't slow down.
It's like, there's an obstacle in the way. There's 2 buoys out there.
No, yeah. We got an island in the way and it takes us fucking 4 hours to turn.
We got an iceberg ahead. How could that film work? Sandra Bullock returns in Speed 2, Cruise Control.
What a subtitle as well, Cruise Control.
Yeah.
Like, what a way to perfectly tell you this film is bad.
This film is really, really bad. But it's a good watch. It's on Prime, I believe. I think that's where I watched it. I had such a great time watching it. But yeah. Other than that, I also, speaking of films that involve aliens and black oil which infects humans, like Prometheus, I watched The X-Files Fight the Future.
Oh my god. I was like, what the fuck film? What's this?
I also watched The X-Files. I literally just remembered like 30 seconds ago. I watched The X-Files 2 nights ago. But this is the movie of The X-Files.
Oh, I watched half of this.
Did you?
Yeah, like a few months ago.
Really?
Yeah.
Why? Why didn't you tell me?
Why
you didn't like it, no?
Where was I? I watched it somewhere. I think it might have been a year ago.
That's all it's saying these days.
No, I watched. Oh, it was definitely a year ago. I think I watched the first hour with Isabel.
Ah, I see.
And then proceeded to not watch any more of it.
Yeah, no, it's
good.
It's a good film.
It is. No,
it's a good film. Have you ever watched The X-Files? The X-Files is my favorite TV show.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, it just is. Well, there's like Breaking Bad, True Detective.
No,
all the lads.
You prefer
Succession. In my soul, in my heart, the X-Files will always be with me. Every day, I've already said this before on the podcast. Every day after school, I'd get home. I'd watch The Simpsons on RT. I'd switch over to Dave or something like that. I think it was a Sci-Fi channel. I'd watch Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, which for some reason was on the Sci-Fi channel. And then after that, at 6 o'clock every evening, the X-Files would come on. I'd watch it with my mum. Those were the happiest days of my entire life.
Nostalgia, that's pure nostalgia.
Pure nostalgia. I just love the vibe of the X-Files. I love the content. I love everything about it. But anyway, they made a film in 1997. It was midway through season 4, maybe season 5 of the X-Files, which is just about. It's like the same with every. You know, it's with every TV show when they make a movie. It's all like it immediately becomes dog shit.
Yeah, it's like
straight away.
This is like whenever the film comes out, that is when you should stop watching the TV show.
That's the last hurrah. It's like we're gonna put everything into this, and after that, it's just like yeah, whatever. SpongeBob movie, Simpsons movie. There's probably 10 other examples. It just doesn't work afterwards. X-Files went to pot around season 6-ish. Season 7's very weak. Season 8 and 9, unwatchable.
How many seasons? 9 seasons?
There's actually 11 seasons, but they made new ones. What?
Oh, the face I just pulled. I wish the listener could see that.
What?
11 seasons.
Yeah. Because they made new ones very recent, in like 2014, 2015.
Oh, okay.
They are dog shit. They're unwatchable. Absolutely unwatchable. They danced on the grave of my childhood. It was I was still a child when they came out. I was like, I still took it personally. What the hell was that like? So bad, unwatchable. I haven't even seen most of them because they're so bad. But anyway, they made a film in 1997. It's called X-Files: Fight the Future. It's all about the way the X-Files is about aliens. Mm-hmm. It's about aliens. It's about paranormal activity. It's about stuff like that.
Oh, is the X-Files Fight the Future against time travel?
No.
Oh, thank God.
No.
Okay, sorry, go on.
It's about the future being aliens.
Okay.
You know, that kind of thing. So yeah, the X-Files is the department of the FBI, a very specific cell of the FBI, which is, you know, led by Fox Mulder, Agent Fox Mulder and Agent Dana Scully. There's only two of them. They investigate paranormal activity, and fucking Fox Mulder has this crazy thing about aliens. His sister was abducted by aliens. This is kind of like the backstory, or whatever. And then in the film, the whole thing throughout the series is kind of like, are aliens are real or are they not? It's like, you know, push and pull. Mulder's like, aliens are real. He's like the pure irrational. He thinks everything is ghosts or aliens or like, you know, demons and stuff like that. And then Scully's like, no, there's a rational explanation. It's like Scooby-Doo kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the classic duality.
I really need to watch X-Files.
It's so good. Even if you just watch like the first four, just the first 4 seasons. Every episode's an hour long. There's 20 to 25 episodes every season.
That's why I haven't watched this.
No, look up a list like the 10 best X-Files episodes.
I've already watched Home.
Home is very, very good. There are even better episodes.
Mm.
And they have the whole Monster of the Week thing. I always prefer the Monster of the Week. The actual story arc, I was never very interested in. I didn't really care. It's all very conspiracy theory based.
Yeah.
You know? It's like season 1, True Detective versus season 2. Season 1 is all those cool kind of spooky things going on. Season 2 is just like straight conspiracy theories and stuff about, you know, like, it's like abuse of power and like systematic, how they kind of obscure the facts
Born.
through bureaucracy.
I want to know if Cthulhu's involved or not.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's more stimulating to watch the Monster of the Week episodes. Then that's where the film comes in. It's so good because it synthesizes the stimulation and just like pure like the tropiness of the Monster of the Week episodes with the actual, ties it in with the actual the arc, like the actual storyline that the series is following. So it's about this thing. It's about an alien invasion. It's the film just straight out. It's like aliens are real. Aliens are.
We're not fucking about anymore.
Yeah. It's like there's never seen aliens in any of the episodes at all. Only in just like visions and like dreams that Mulder has and stuff like that. In the film, it's just the aliens are real. Aliens are in the film. Mulder fights an alien at one stage. It's just like, it's just so out there. But at the same time, it's not cheesy out there. It's still kind of like a serious conspiracy thriller.
Mm-hmm.
And there's this whole kind of like, you know,
there's a cover up.
There's a huge cover up. It goes all the way to the top.
Yep.
All the way to the top. There's these backdoor dealings.
Bring me in. This goes all the way to the top.
There's these backdoor dealings. There's stuff about vaccines and stuff. Yeah. But it's a pro-vaccine film because the whole thing is, it's kind of similar. The opening is kind of similar to Prometheus. So you have this setup where it's a caveman who stumbles upon an alien and he kills the alien and the alien dies, but the alien has acid oil blood, which then like absorbs the caveman and he dies. And like 10,000 years later, in the middle of Texas, some kid falls down a hole, finds the caveman's skull, and like the black oil kind of stuff is still in the skeleton, and the kid gets possessed by this alien virus, which is the whole thing. The whole thing is about a virus, an extraterrestrial virus, which through the course of the film is explained. This is so much spoilers for the.
Let's go for it. I don't think people.
No one cares about this. It's been 25 years.
Yeah, nor do I.
It's been 25 years. Anyway, the whole thing is the aliens aren't extraterrestrial. They were here first, like the engineers.
We're the invaders.
We're not the invaders. We're just kind of like someone else who came along. And the whole idea is the aliens left Earth many, many years ago, and the whole idea is that they will come back and use this virus, kind of like wake it up from its dormancy.
Like David.
Yeah. And then it will infect, and they will use humans as like kind of conduits, like a slave race, to expedite their conquest of Earth. And Mulder's the only guy who knows this on like planet Earth. You know, he finds this out through a lot of like back alley dealings. He's like talking to some conspiracy theorists. He's been written off by the man. He's been like framed and stuff like that. And it's genuinely a really good conspiracy kind of thriller. Mm-hmm. It's really well done, and it has aliens in it and stuff. You know,
what more do you need? It's got aliens.
The whole like interplay, it really brings out the interplay between like Scully, like the hyper rationalist. You know, needs to categorize everything. Everything needs to be in its box. And then Mulder, he seems to be getting like more and more unhinged. He's going off the rails. He's talking to people he shouldn't be talking to. It gets really bombastic at a certain stage. They go off to Antarctica, and like Mulder fights aliens and stuff. But like for the first hour, it's like this is fucking tops. It's literally the perfect synthesis of everything that the X-Files. It's the same way the Simpsons movie, SpongeBob movie, which aren't even remotely similar to this film at all.
No,
but the same way they kind of encapsulate everything that's good about those series.
Yeah.
As a kind of last hurrah. Like the X-Files Fight the Future, it does the exact same thing.
More so the SpongeBob movie. Like the
Yeah,
Simpsons
it's good.
Simpsons movie less so.
Less so, but it's still
SpongeBob movie 100%.
SpongeBob movie definitely. In the same way, it's one of those films that actually did manage to capture the reason that the show was so successful. Yeah, it's such a good film. I hadn't seen it in so long, and I don't know why. Such a great movie. Remember the first time I watched it, I was like, "This is." You know, and you always ever see like an adaptation of TV of one of your favorite TV shows, and you're like, "This is like Sopranos." Wasn't great. It was alright.
Yeah.
Bob's Burgers movie wasn't great.
Bob's Burgers movies.
It was alright.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think it hit the heights really encapsulated the series for me anyway.
Like, it
why I
encapsulates
like the series.
wholesomeness of the series.
Yeah.
Which I think is like a big proponent for why a lot of people like it.
Yeah. But this goes. This is literally you could put the movie, the X-Files movie, in a list of the top 10 X-Files episodes because it's only 2 hours long. It's the same as 2 episodes put together.
Which they've definitely done like a 2-parter.
Yeah, literally. And it stands. There's one 2-parter they did. It was fucking dog shit. It was awful. It was just narrative. It was just the arc. It's boring. So boring. You know. But you could literally. This stands against any of the best episodes. Perfect. Perfect. Magnifico.
I think that's a sign of. Like, if the film is good, it just, like, less so feels like a long episode, but more so feels like it could fit in with the rest of the episodes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like, you can pick, I think it's technically the series finale for, or the season finale for whatever season it was, season 4, season 5. And then it picks up again with, like, having acknowledged that all this stuff happened with the next season. And that's when it kind of gets a bit hairy.
Because now you've said that aliens are real.
Yeah, and so much has happened and stuff.
Yeah.
But it really, like, it fits in with the whole arc, everything, the whole mood, the themes of the show, all up to that point.
Yeah.
It's just having to deal with that after the fact. It was kind of a bit messy for them. But
which is basically the same for, like, every other film,
but
TV.
It fits in. It fits like a fucking glove. What a film. What a film. 5 stars.
What's your
5 stars. Honestly, 5 stars.
Well, fair play, Mark. I've never heard you give anything 5 stars.
No, yeah, I take that back.
What are your favorite, like, TV to film films?
SpongeBob movie.
100%. El Camino.
I still haven't seen that.
Haven't seen it. That's like full on, just like, that just is an episode of Breaking Bad just held out for like an hour and a half. But it, you know, again, doesn't feel like that. Well, no, it actually kind of does, because it actually really does. It actually just feels like 2 extra episodes of Breaking Bad. I'm trying to think of other ones. Bob's Burgers is very good.
Bob's Burgers,
Simpsons
it's
movie,
pretty
obviously.
good. Simpsons movie's pretty good.
Yeah, that's it. That's all I can think of.
That's about it. Avatar. Yeah, Last Airbender.
That's dog shit. But that's not the same thing. I'm talking about, like,
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Like, not like adaptations.
Within the arc of the show.
Yeah. Like, yeah, because I think Avatar is an adaptation, but I'm talking about, like, straight to, like, the TV show leads into the film, which then can lead back out or whatever. Yeah. We'll go for break.
Let's go.
No.
No.
God.
And we're back.
Oh my God.
Dublin's hit music station.
Audacity hitting us with the not responding before you fucking record again.
An hour and a half into recording.
Oh my God. Hold up a second. Alright. Speaking about nostalgia. Speaking about properties from your childhood.
Speaking about Avatar. The Last Airbender.
I went to go see Avatar, The Way of the Water in IMAX 3D. Not to be a dickhead, but, like, really the only way that you need to be watching this film.
Fuck.
Go see it in cinema. Go see it in IMAX. Go see it in 3D at the very fucking least. Yeah. It has been 13 years.
It has. It's been 13 years.
13 years since Avatar came out. We talked about that in the last episode. About
People who were born the day after it came out are in secondary school right now. I just realised that. That's messed up. They're in first year. Some of them are in second year.
That's gross.
That's messed up.
That's fucked up. I don't like that. Why did you hit me with that?
Yeah.
Why did you tell me that?
Holy moly.
That's fucking gross.
That is strange, isn't it?
Did you ever think that like kids that are born in 2015 are 7?
7's not old. That doesn't affect
They're
me.
like doing their communion very soon.
See, yeah, most of them don't affect me. I'm just like, yeah, it's like 2015 is quite a long time ago. 7 years old, it's not very old. But Avatar, I remember Avatar very, very well.
Remember the event?
Yeah.
The event of Avatar very
Yeah,
very well.
like, yeah, that's what I mean.
Avatar 2, I don't feel like is getting the same level
Of hype, yeah.
but also I haven't been seeing people, so maybe that might also be it.
Yeah. Also, I was in isolation for the last week.
Yeah, so maybe people are talking about it. No, it's James Cameron, you son of a bitch, you did it again. I had the best time while watching Avatar, The Way of the Water. I had such a hit of nostalgia while watching this film. There was a real sense of... Well, there was like a double... It hit me 2 times with the nostalgia. Because the first thing was when I put on the 3D glasses and things started coming towards me on the screen. I was like, oh shit, I forgot films used to do this. Because I haven't seen a 3D film since I was like 13, 14?
Yeah,
probably
so
13.
long.
Probably 13. Probably around... I'd say 2011, 2012 was the last time I saw a 3D film.
Kind of died off.
Rightfully so, it is a gimmick. And in this film, it is also a gimmick, but I don't even know if it is a gimmick. There's something...
It justifies the stuff.
There's something about adding 3D to this film because... And similar thing in Avatar 1, where like, it's not like the film is like, whoa, we're coming out at the screen at you.
Yeah.
It's just like it adds depth to the shots, which is already there, just, you know, extenuates it even further. But yeah, I was putting on those 3D glasses. I was like, oh fuck, I forgot films used to do this. And I felt very nostalgic for that. And then the film started. And then we are reintroduced to all the characters that we saw from the first film. Like, literally all of them. Like, what's the villain called?
Stephen Lang.
Stephen Lang. Stephen Lang is back. He's an Avatar now. They very quickly at the start of the film
Somehow he came back.
are just like, here's why he's back. Here's all the sort of stuff that's after happening. Okay, you caught up in the last 50 minutes. Okay, let's go. And it's like very quickly rushes through stuff to try and explain it, which, you know, is a detriment to the film, but I don't fucking care because it's just like, okay, we want to get you to the point. We're getting you very quickly to the point we want you to be at. Now let's go.
Yeah.
And let's go on this ride and let's go on this journey.
Let's bounce.
Let's have fun. And man, this is literally the most fun I've had in the cinema in fucking years. This is probably the best blockbuster I've ever seen.
Oh, that's what I wanted to hear.
Oh man,
I still haven't seen this. Criminally, my own fault, really. I still haven't seen this. That's what I wanted to hear, though. That's really because I have heard only. I think one person was kind of like, it's all right, but everyone else is like, you have to go see this, bro. Like, you have to go see this.
You do. You do have to go see
I
this.
definitely will.
Like, okay, right. Let's be real. This film does have the same problems the first one having. Like, the narrative isn't the strongest, whatever. Who cares about all that fucking gay shit, right?
Who cares?
Who cares, right?
This
Who cares?
podcast isn't about that stuff.
Who cares about all
Is
this?
it cool or not?
Who cares about R and fucking themes? All that bullshit, right? What do the blue people get up to on this film? They vibe out on Pandora, and it is so much fun. Oh my god. This is the most technologically impressive film I have ever seen. There are shots in this film where my mind was blown at what I was looking at.
Really?
There's a bit where an avatar is in the water with a big whale, and it's raining, and they're like outside the water. So half of them is in water, half of them is out of the water, and they're rubbing the whale. And like you can see the rain trickle down the rain, or trickle down the whale.
Yeah.
You can see the drops of rain go down the whale.
Uh-huh.
And I was sitting there, I was like, nothing on screen is real. It looks 100% real. Nothing in this film looks fake.
That's so weird.
There is one shot of Eddie Falco in this film where I was like, oh, that doesn't look very good.
Yeah.
That happens near the start of the film. It never happens again. Never happens again. There's so many shots of humans with the Na'vi and stuff like that. They both look like they're just like talking to each other. There's no weird green screen Marvel bullshit.
Yeah.
Because I want to fucking emphasize this. This is like, because like you have Marvel films that are like being nominated for best special effects or whatever. Doctor Strange, and I've seen shots from Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange nominated for that?
It was.
Was it?
No, Thor Ragnarok was.
But that was
no, Thor, Love and Thunder, the last one.
But that was like a meme for how bad the CGI was.
Yeah, it got nominated. It's mad what money can do. It's mad what money can do.
Rigged.
But like there's shots in this film, like there's a shot of Jake on the back of one of these big whales things in the water, and his hands are in the water, and he's like flicking around this like tape around his hand to like latch him onto the whale. And I saw a clip on Twitter. I saw that clip on Twitter, and the person that retweeted it had said, I talked to one of the VFX people that worked on this film. This 3-second shot probably cost around 10 grand.
10 grand. That's how you do it.
But it literally looks like it looks real.
Yeah.
But everything is fake. Everything in that shot is fake. 90% of this film isn't real, and it looks 100% real.
Yeah. That's true artistry.
True.
Popular artistry.
Yeah.
You know, blockbusters that push the envelope in some kind of way. Even what you're saying about 3D. It's like the 3D, like Avatar 3D means something, you know. It's like it actually adds to the experience.
Something. It really does.
Like it puts you into the world, Pandora or whatever. I still haven't even seen Avatar 2, but I just remember that the impression's so strong from Avatar 1. Whereas like most of them, so you have like whatever, the Doctor Strange or like the Thor movie, where it's just like you can literally just read the script and get the gist. You know, you would get the gist. Avatar is literally, it's the reverse. It's like the story isn't really the point. It's the actual. It's like the actual fit. Yeah,
it's the physical being there.
Yeah.
That 100%. That's the difference. Where other 3D films use it as a gimmick to be like, oh, look at 3D. Avatar uses it in a way to pull you into the world even more.
It's integral to the film.
It's integral to watching the film, and it's integral to like getting your ass out of the house and going to the cinema because you're not meant to watch this film at home. Like, I know that people like talk about like some blockbuster films, like, you know, like some MCU films and like, you know, some Christopher Nolan films or whatever. Like, I've seen a couple of Christopher Nolan films in cinema, and then I've seen them at home. There was no real difference in my experience of watching the film, watching in the cinema and watching at home.
Yeah, you're right. For a lot of them, yeah.
For a lot of them. And same thing with the Marvel films. It doesn't really matter where I watch those films.
Same with like Tarantino. It's like Hateful Eight has to be on like, was it 8 mil or something like
8 mil, you know, you have to be fucking sitting there for fucking 4.5 hours of enjoying the film or whatever. But like Avatar, this is a film that needs a huge screen so you can see everything that's on the screen. There's some bits where they're literally underwater and like flowing through water and just staring at this like insane wildlife, and it's just gorgeous to look at. Like, I really, it's like there's moments in this film where I had the biggest fucking smile on my face as to what was happening, and it's literally just people just like Navi just hanging out, and just like chilling by water and stuff like that. Like, yeah, the plot is mad formulaic. Who gives a shit?
Who cares? You don't get it, bro.
I don't care. Fuck
you don't get it.
I don't care. I had so much fun with this film.
Yeah, I really want to see it. Really want to see it now.
It's it was an absolute fucking blast.
That's a relief that you liked it. Because people were saying, oh yeah, it's like it's really good. You should go see it. I was like, I'm sorry, I don't respect your opinion. It's like,
Fuck
I'm sorry,
you, peasant.
I can't verify the information you just relayed to me. It could be fake news. You know?
Could be.
Owen said it. Rubber stamp of approval. I have to go see it. I'm going to go see it tomorrow.
Do it.
I'm going to see it the day after.
See you soon. Whenever you can.
I want to see it tonight.
Go see it tonight. Nah, I really like it's thoroughly enjoyed myself while watching this film. I love the thing that like James Cameron's so good at making you hate villains, and then they get their shit wrecked, and you're like, oh, that's what I want.
Satisfying.
That feels good.
So satisfying. It always is.
Like, and the action's so good.
Yeah,
action's very good.
Damn. Yeah, that's because that's like the basic ingredient of any Jim Cameron film, isn't it? You know, except for Titanic. Even then, great set piece.
Even at that, like mind blowing CGI.
Yeah. How does he keep getting away with it?
We gotta let him keep getting away with this.
What a guy.
He has to keep getting away with this.
Yeah, how's it doing in numbers? Like, do you know?
I'm pretty sure it's pretty good.
It's doing pretty well, is it?
Let's have a look. Let's have a quick little.
Let's look at the BO. Let's look at the box office.
Let's have a little Google here.
Avatar 2 box office.
Best thing about Avatar is that it's real easy to type. It's a lot of A's.
Crushes Christmas. Okay, cool.
600 mil internationally.
600 mil passes. So it's hit $1 billion. We can rest assured it's hit $1 billion already. Avatar Way of the Water, global box office passes 955 million. That was a few hours ago. So probably as we speak, it's past $1 billion. The big budget. So let's do pretty well.
Avatar crosses 900 mil as other holiday movies. Is Avatar 2 doing good in the box office? James Cameron's big budget sequel ranked in an estimated 52 million. Da-da-da. Yes, is the answer.
Apparently, China is like the kingmaker here, because loads of Disney films don't get released in China, obviously for various reasons.
There's no reason for this film not to be released in China.
That's the thing. That's why they're kind of bullish on its release.
Crosses 900 mil globally as new holiday movie gets iced.
Ouch. But yeah, apparently China is going to be pretty big because that was a big market in 2009 for the original Avatar. But I think their domestic cinema, their general kind of like cinema going culture has blossomed since then. But they're just kind of concerned about COVID lockdowns and stuff. But it coincided very well with the release. They opened up quite a few cities. So apparently it's going to be quite big there as well.
Come on, James. Let's
you
fucking
can do it.
This, bro.
You can do it, bro. Get past $2.5 billion.
Do it, bro.
Come on, make a lot of money. It'll make me happy.
I really, really want James Cameron to make
third time in a row.
I really want that to happen.
Third time on the bounce. He does it again.
He does it again.
Oh, how does he keep getting away with this? The highest grossing film of all time. Again.
Again.
He's done it again.
Oh god! Like James Cameron is like the MVP of filmmakers.
He is the MVP. He can't be beaten. JC does it again. Think about it. JC. Think about those initials. James Cameron.
What does that mean?
What does that mean to you? To me, it means James Cameron. What a guy!
Oh, stop!
What a legend!
But like even my family went to go see it as well, and my mom literally sits down afterwards and said, like, how many are they making? They're making 3 more of these. I was like, yeah, it's gonna be 5 in total. And she said, the only other franchise that I like watched all of the installments to was Harry Potter, because I had to, because you were kids.
Yeah.
So I had no choice. She literally said, I willingly want to watch each one of these because they are so much fun to watch.
Yeah. Oh, it'd be some gig now. I'm sure they already have quite a few of them.
I think the third one's already made.
I think they have bits filmed for 3 and 4, but I think they just have to kind of do what's it even called? They have to do not even reshoots. I don't know what it's called, but they'd have to piece them together pretty much. I think that a lot of it is already shot. Yeah. But that's why because this film, I think altogether, there's a quote. I think we talked about it last week. But like, there's a quote where he said for this film to break even, it would need to be like the third highest grossing film of all time.
It's going to be
for it to it pretty will for it to make $1, like
yeah.
to make any kind of profit, it would need to be one of the highest grossing films of all time. But like part of that is like, you know, forget about like it costs about 300 mil to make in terms of production, and then there's like marketing costs which are always double, so at least 600 mil. But then you're also accounting for the fact that they've filmed like half of the third and fourth already. Yeah. So you're looking at this project cost about nearly $1 billion. Like all together to make. See the
thing that Eddie Falco said? Eddie Falco said, yeah, I shot bits for Avatar 2 and then I never heard anything about it, so I just assumed it bombed.
Avatar what?
Avatar 2. Because she's in this.
She thought it was out already.
She literally said, I thought it was out and I just never heard anything about the film, so I thought it bombed. And then it comes down, it's like, oh, it's going to be like the highest grossing film of all time.
Eddie Falco. Where's she been?
She's been shooting Avatar 2.
There's Jackie. Sopranos. There's Jackie.
She literally said, I shot my scenes 4 years ago.
Yeah. Just started filming in 2017, 2016. A long ass time ago.
Oh, bro. There's a few bits in the film. You're like, go on, that's it.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Fucking hate humans.
Hate humans. Awful things we do to whales. Awful things. However, Mark, it's still a wonderful life. A recommended film for this episode. 1945? 4? Let me pull up the...
46.
46?
Yeah, it's 46.
Okay. Oh, post-war film. Oh, mad. It's a Wonderful Life. Directed by Frank Capra.
Oh, shit.
A holiday favourite for generations. George Bailey has spent his entire life giving to the people of Bedford Falls. All that prevents rich skinflint Mr. Potter from taking over the entire town
is cunt.
George's modest building and loan company. But on Christmas Eve, the business loses $8,000 and George's troubles begin.
What a premise.
It is the highest ranked Christmas film of all time. Much like Die Hard, actually. It's not really a Christmas movie though, but it kind of is. But it's not really a Christmas movie.
You can't say Die Hard's a Christmas movie if this is not a Christmas movie.
I can't, but I will. I will say that neither.
This guy does what he wants.
I will say that neither.
This guy's a loose cannon.
Like I like the way like the highest, like the greatest Christmas movies of all time are always like very loosely Christmas movies.
Die Hard, It's a Wonderful Life, Eyes Wide Shut. You know.
That's why
Gremlins.
That's why Muppets Christmas Carol is actually the best Christmas movie.
It's the only Christmas movie.
But regardless, what did you think?
It's a wonderful film.
It is a wonderful film.
It's a wonderful film. I've never seen It's a Wonderful Life. Ever. Never seen it. I'd seen it. I was like, it's always on like Film 4 or stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
It's always Film 4. It's never on like a main channel. It's always like, it's on Film 4. And I'll see it scrolling through the TV guide. And I'm like, no, I'm not watching that. And then I considered watching it over on Christmas. I was like, no, I'm not watching that. Because I had this idea that was kind of like depressing, like really like saccharine kind of like ending. And I'd heard loads of good things about it. But again, I was like, oh,
you think it's gonna be like mad cheesy?
Yeah, really cheesy. Like, oh yeah, he's realized how life is actually all right and stuff. I thought it was gonna be kind of one of those really fucking condescending, twee, moralistic, Scrooge fucking McDuck story.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh look, he was evil. And then I didn't really know a lot about the film. I watched it yesterday. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, this I actually understand. I
get the hype.
I'm so late to this game. I'm literally 70 years late to this game.
80 years, nearly.
I'm 80 years late to this game, and I'm like, wow, that's actually a really good film. It actually is. It's really, really good. Very, very good. Because it's not even... I thought, as I was saying, I thought it was going to be, he's in a bit of a bind. For some reason, I thought he was kind of like evil or something. I thought it was kind of like a Christmas Carol in like a modern setting.
He learns to be good,
and then he's shown by an angel. Like actually, things are all right. I knew the vague outline of the story, but then I didn't realize that the whole him being shown life without him.
It's literally the last quarter of the film.
It's literally it's not even like a quarter of the film. It's like the last 20 minutes, and the film's 2 hours long. and everything up to that, it's a social drama like about the depression and all and stuff like that, and like banks. I was like, what the hell is this film? What's going on here?
Yeah, no, literally.
He runs a credit union and he's taking on like this.
He's taking on the evil bankers.
He's taking on like a predatory capitalist who's trying to monopolize this town. The whole film is it's not like it's like if you read into it, it's actually about the depression and working class power in Dust Bowl America. Oh, no, it's right there. Like it's literally right there.
Much like Prometheus and Covenant, it is screaming at you what the themes are.
Yeah, the themes are all there.
But thankfully this film has other things going on.
Yeah.
Like maybe the nicest protagonist ever put to film,
George Bailey. What a guy. What a guy.
I'm sure he's a bit homophobic and stuff like that because he's given the time. But regardless,
is he?
It's 1940s.
I don't know. It's happened in the film.
No, but
you can't just assume that about him.
He's
pretty a racist as well. That racist bastard, George Bailey.
He does have a.
There are no black people in the town.
There's one black person.
Is there?
His housemaid, who kind of gets sexually harassed by his brother, but we'll move on from that. Yeah, it's weird. This is not a perfect film, but there's a few flaws. But regardless, it's still a very good film.
I've changed my opinion. This film is dog shit. This one is a racist tirade.
It shows its age in a few bits.
Yeah.
But regardless, the bank stuff was great.
The bank stuff, even the beginning with the stars and stuff, and they're talking. I thought that was very well done.
There's no, man, because I've seen this film before. And I thought, it's a good film. Rewatching it this time, it's one of those films where, and Gummo is like this as well. And is Gummo maybe the only other one? Like, I think Gummo maybe. No, I don't think any other film maybe does this, where it makes me want to go out into the world and tell the people that I love them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, want to grab people that I care about and be like, I love you and I need you to know that because I don't think I say this enough. It's one of those films where it makes me think about like how I treat other people, but it also retrospectively makes me think, wait, no, you are cared about and you are loved. Like, people do care about you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, it's very beautiful. It's not just like simplistic, because like the whole thing is he doesn't even try to commit suicide. I think, but that's like the whole thing, because his bank is being closed down because they lost $8,000 or whatever, and he jumps into the river
because his uncle's a fucking dope.
Yeah, Uncle Bill or whatever.
Jesus Christ,
he's
bro.
a bitch. You should have sacked him long ago.
Oh my god,
family or no family, you're gone. Bill, you're gone. Get your coat.
Get the fuck out of here, Bill. You fucked up more than once.
He jumps in to save someone in the river. I'm pretty sure that's just like the basic gist of it is he tries to commit suicide.
Oh, he's going to do that.
Yeah. And then it's like, you don't commit suicide because all this and this. But it's not just like a kind of, don't do this because like it's bad or whatever. It's like it paints you a picture of like how of the community, like not just of like how this guy
much you matter.
Yeah, how much this guy fits into the community, how much the community is reliant on him, how he's not just like an individual, like severed from all ties. Like he can't be, like he's not an island, He's not. He doesn't.
No
just,
man is an island.
He doesn't just exist on his own. The whole community is like a single organism, basically. Is the message of the film. Very very strange message for like for any kind of American film.
Yeah.
Like it's. I think that's why it's categorized as a Christmas film. Even if it wasn't set at Christmas, it's that kind of message which is like really unique to Christmas. Christmas time for some reason.
Community.
It's like, community is all your family and stuff like that. And there's no way to like talk about any of those things without acknowledging the fact that individualism is just like bullshit.
Yeah,
it's like just doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
it makes zero sense.
Yeah.
So if you're talking about those things, you have to acknowledge the community. And this film does it in like a very wonderful way. That just it paints a really nice picture, without being it's showing, not telling.
Yeah.
In that kind of way,
Yeah.
It's a very beautiful picture, and like as you said, it was a kind of film where like he's running around at the end, very like the one of the most famous scenes of all time.
Oh.
It's as I'd seen it before, I was like yeah, whatever, and then you see it, you're like,
Yeah.
You're like, wow, like this is like you're just getting chills.
Like,
I was like, I'm watching It's a Wonderful Life, getting chills. I'm fucking 24 years old. What am I doing with my life?
man,
It's like, how have I never seen this film before?
Like, I was just because when I was watching, I was like, I actually don't think I've seen this film in full. I think I've like watched it from like when he has to give up his honeymoon. When he has to give up his honeymoon, I think I've seen from that point on. And I've never seen like the first like 15, 20 minutes or whatever. But then watching it as a whole, and for some reason this time it just hit. It just hit on a whole different level where like nearly tearing up at the end, being like, fuck, this is really hitting for some reason. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's just something about
he
it.
gets into the gaff and there's people waiting to arrest him, like the DA and all there. And he's just delighted. He's like, I want to go see my kids, my wife.
You just give a shit, yeah.
It's like, wow. Perspective changing moment, not just in the film. That's the best thing about watching any kind of film where you're like, wow, that makes me think about my life in a different way. You know, not even like, oh, what would life be like if I wasn't around? It's more like, you know, you go out with like a new, even like if you come out of the cinema after a really good film, you just feel different.
Yeah,
like everything just feels kind of new. You know, everything's like, everything you just feel like the world is just it's a totally different shade. This film does a perfect job of doing the exact same thing. You're just like, this is like I'm on this guy's level. I want to be like this as well. Like, this is how you should approach every day, pretty much. You know?
Yeah.
Because it's true. Like for every single day that you're alive. You know?
Yeah, literally.
It's literally it's that approach.
And like, there's so many bits early on in the film as well that like that just bring a huge fucking smile on my face. I love the bit at near the start where they're at the school dance and the floor is opening up towards the pool and they're just dancing and like nearly that's such like a fucking 40s like early cinema thing. It's like, oh, nearly going into the cinema, no, nearly going into the water and then dancing back. It's just like that kind of, there's like, that doesn't happen in films anymore. That really only happens in like the 40s and 50s. In films like American films like that, where it's just like this like fun romance that's going on, playful romance, yeah, very playful. And that bit where he's like, "You want the moon? I'll get you the moon. I'll lasso the moon and bring it down for you."
yeah.
Love it.
So iconic.
I love his voice.
His voice is hilarious.
Yeah,
it's. Because I've heard his voice before, but only
I told you to play.
Only through impressions.
Yeah,
you know? Just in The Simpsons and stuff. But yeah, the performance is insanely good. This film is just, I don't understand why it's so good. I don't get it. How is it so good? But I didn't get the impression that it was this good before.
I know that because
I just thought it was like, it's a good Christmas movie. It's kind of like a tradition to watch this. I didn't realize it literally is like one of the great movies.
I think it's because when you see clips of this film, when people talk about the film, they really talk about the last 20 minutes. But those 20 minutes only really work because you have the hour and 40 minutes of this critique of capitalism and this critique of like banks and monopolies and like working class men rising up and like just like using every bit of like capital that they have to fight off capitalists.
Yeah,
and like
the bit in the bank when he gives up, he's after getting married and gives up his
like,
thing. It's like, that's wow, you know. But that's great, a powerful moment, very powerful moment.
And it's even like he doesn't even question it.
Yeah.
Like she's like, we got $2,000 here, and it's like $2,000. Let's use it. Like it's not like he's like, need to think about my honeymoon here. He's just straight in like, okay, that's what we need to use to get out of this situation.
Yeah.
And then like,
great.
And then when he's like, how much do you need? And the first guy's like $200, and he's like, oh come on, you fucking greedy cunt. And your man's just like, no, I need $200. I'm closing my account. It's like, you're not closing your account. It's only a loan because I'm keeping you, fucking prick.
Yeah. Yeah, you're on the list.
And then the next one's like, oh, I guess $15. It's like $15. Oh, you fucking beautiful bitch.
Yeah.
Like just like scraping together to like overcome these issues, and then just eternally surviving. It's just, it's so good.
Yeah.
And like just like the stuff that George Bailey does in his life, you know, like the first act of saving his younger brother from drowning, and then like later on, it's like, oh, if if you weren't there to save your brother, so therefore he wasn't there in the war to save hundreds of people and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's
Even the way he gets pushed to the edge, he's on the edge for ages.
Yeah.
Because he's fighting against, much darker powers out there. That cunt, what's his name?
Mr.
Whatever his name is.
I'll tell you now.
He's the evil capitalist guy who's trying to take over.
He's a cunt.
He owns half the town.
Mr. Potter.
Mr. Potter. And Bailey is like the fucking bulwark against this chap. But like the whole community is against it, and he's just kind of like, he's the ceremonial head of it, and he recognizes that fact. But he's always kind of struggling against this guy and like the system, and trying to keep the bank open, try to do right by the community. And it's just it's hard out there. And then he gets hit with, his foolish old uncle makes a mistake. These things happen, but things are spiraling out of control. He's at fucking rock bottom. He's literally considering committing suicide. There's a warrant out for his arrest. It couldn't get any worse than this. But like in the chronology of the actual story, forgetting the whole apparition and the angel coming down and stuff like that, it's like within 5 minutes, he kind of like, he wakes up to the reality of the situation, the fact that he has the community behind him, the fact that he's embedded in the community, and that the community will, overcome, and that's all that really matters. Within 5 minutes, he's like running around going, he's like, oh, happy Christmas and all this stuff. For some reason, it just hits. It hits really hard.
It hits so hard.
Yeah.
It really, like I said, it's a perspective changing film where you're like, shit, I matter, and like it's not even to do with and it is like that. Well, part of it is the fact that like showing you if you weren't alive, like George Bailey. If George Bailey wasn't alive, to be fair, he's a man that has lived a very extraordinary life. Don't know about you, Mark, but I have yet to save someone's life.
Yeah.
I have yet to save people from getting into the depths of financial ruin and stop the chemist from accidentally poisoning someone. I've yet to do those stuff, but
not yet.
Not yet.
Did you have a land of $8,000?
Yeah, no matter, bro. I'll give that to you. But it is like, it does make you. It's like reinforcing that fact that it's like you do, like, you might not have the effects that George Bailey has had, but you do have an impact and effects on people's lives, in ways that you wouldn't even consider. Which is,
you're part of the broader, the broader kind of thing going on.
No Man's an Island.
You're just
the butterfly effect.
One piece. You're one piece.
One piece.
You just.
What a manga.
It's the community, man. It's the community. I just love that part, because that's really what it's all about. Your friends and family.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like that's really the part that matters.
Yep.
That's the part that makes life wonderful.
That's all that
is
matters.
The connections and the people that you know. I think that's something in film though that I'm only noticing more and more.
Wow.
That theme, I guess, because I think if I watched this when I was younger, I don't think I would have copped that like message of the film. I'm like, yeah, it's good, but now I'm just like slightly older, and I'm like, oh fuck, I matter.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Same thing with Gummo. I think when the first time I watched Gummo, I was like, yeah, it's good or whatever, and then I watched it again. I'm like, oh man, people are so beautiful. Like there's beauty in everything. Communities have their beauty in ways that you wouldn't even expect.
Yeah. Now Gummo's like a really good film for that in like a very different way. It's like, it's kind of because when we first watched it, we were like 18, 19.
Something like that.
That's like feel weird. It's a weird age, weird age to be. Gummo's about weird people just doing their thing. It's like I was trying to explain this to someone the other night. It's like Gummo. Unless you watch Gummo to feel like it's like a feel good film. Like a lot of people don't get that. Like it actually genuinely makes me feel like
that people find Gummo,
really nice.
Gummo like extremely disturbing.
Yeah. Because that's how I first found out about the film. First time I watched it, I was like, this film sounds really fucked up. I've heard it's really fucked up. And then when I watched it, I was like, this is one of the most beautiful films I've ever watched.
Yeah, I don't get the disturbing aspect of it whatsoever.
I watch it. I literally, it's like I was saying, I go out and it's like the world is just. It changed my perspective in like a really nice way. Every time I watch it, and this film is kind of the same, but like I think it's as you say, it's more like a mature thing.
Yeah,
it's like everyone's been that, not in the specific situation that George Bailey is in the film, but like you feel like you're just being crushed by like the system, or things
just the weight of the
things
world.
just aren't going your way. Maybe a silly mistake has happened, things you can't control, and you just feel like things aren't going your way. But like the film, as in the film with the character George Bailey, it's like a small change of perspective, and all of a sudden everything's just, you just recognize what the important things are.
Yeah.
And that's the whole point of the film, and that's how it's kind of similar to Gummo. It's a Wonderful Life. It's
Yeah,
similar to
yeah.
Gummo. That's a very strange point.
No,
but
no, but they're like part of the same.
same experience, same cinematic experience as a viewer, as a watcher.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. It makes you think about life, makes you think about beauty, makes you think about meaning, how you matter, how other people matter.
Yeah.
You know, that type of stuff.
It's a great change of pace, because we always talk about horror films and stuff. Or
Yeah, we talk about so much dark,
or
grim
like
shit.
Texas Chainsaw, it's about fucking, we're never going to beat neoliberalism and stuff. But then it's just like, I watch Gummo because it makes me feel good.
Yeah. I think there's like, I think that's the thing with this podcast is like, when we watch like really positive, like wholesome films that have like a nice message, God, they hit home.
Oh yeah, it really is. I don't know if that's just like pent up, like tension from all the horrible things we watch, or if these films just genuinely are some of the greatest films ever
But to be
made.
fair, we are just picking some of the greatest films we've ever made.
You're dead right.
Yeah, we are.
We are just picking. Well, to be fair, Gummo isn't really considered that.
No, it's
more.
not.
It's more of a cult thing. I think we're very, very specific. I don't know many other people that look at Gummo that way, which is such a shame.
I know one other person that does that.
Robin. Yeah. Robin gets it. There we go. There.
Robin watches it that way.
Robin gets it. But so many other plebs out there don't.
They don't get it.
They always haven't listened to our Gummo episode.
Go back.
Where we clearly explained exactly what we're talking about.
Go back
here.
and watch it. And you'll see the beauty in Gummo. You see the beauty in the most unlikely of places. Yeah, I don't know. It's just something about, and like I think there is something about the fact that watching It's a Wonderful Life and it having the pedigree that it has, and it being so well renowned and so, it's one of the greatest films ever made, that you're going into it like, yeah, but like it can't be that good.
Yeah.
And it does, like, I think that's, going into it was like, I don't think I'm really gonna like this, because I think it's gonna be, I'm gonna watch it.
It's gonna be
like,
what I think it is.
yeah, it's gonna be like, it's gonna be like kind of twee and a bit like, really on the nose, and it is, but in a completely different way, where it just hits. It just hits, and it's a film that you really don't have to watch. You can watch it at any time of the year. Like, it doesn't, like, it's a Christmas movie, but it's not really.
It's Christmas, like literally at the very end for like 5 minutes.
Yeah, literally, there's a Christmas tree in the background, but it like, that's symbolic. It's in the background.
Yeah. There's no Santa or anything.
There's no Santa.
Yeah.
There's no presents.
The community saves him.
The community comes together and I think as well. And I was looking at a Letterboxd review about this. It's important that Mr. Potter never has his comeuppance. Because how would he? Like how, like, the capitalism, it doesn't get its comeuppance yet.
It's a Wonderful Life, the sequel.
It's a Wonderful Life 2. Cruise Control.
Where George Bailey leads an urban guerrilla terrorist cell and overthrowing capitalism in the Midwest USA. It bombed.
Didn't do good. But
yeah, that's a good point though. Yeah, he just kind of does his thing. But that's life, you have to get on with that.
Yeah,
the villains don't. Yeah, they don't.
They don't get their comeuppance most of the time.
Yeah.
It's more realistic that way. Even though this film is very fantastical. Like this film on angels and shit.
That's the best thing about this film. It's really realistic.
Yeah, it's super realistic.
Yeah. Great film.
Yeah.
Great film. What a film.
Great film.
Frank Capra. What a guy.
What a king. You made a good one, Frank. I know people have told you this probably, but you made a good one.
Great stuff.
Will we leave it there?
We'll leave it there for episode 108. Our recommended film is going to be Arrebato. That is an Italian film from the 1970s, I believe. The English translation is Rapture. It's about a filmmaker who becomes obsessed with the process of making experimental films.
Sick. So returning to our roots.
It's yeah. It's a film about making films. It's also a horror film.
Woohoo!
So let's see how that is. I've never seen it. I know very little about it. I know it's very well received. I'm sure we'll have good fun talking about it.
We will. It'll be a vibe.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. See you
Goodbye,
there.
everyone. Enjoy. Hope you all had a happy Christmas.
Absolutely. And
Hope
a
you-
lovely new year.
And we'll see you again in 2023.
Holy shit.
Fuck me. Bye.
Bye.